Welcome to our live today. We're going to be talking about
Lady
preventing
P. Lady P, I
suicide
can't hear
of
you,
the
baby. It's like you muted. I might have to leave and come back in.
community.
I gotta leave and come back in.
While we waiting for Nip, I want to say I help you. Say welcome to everybody that's over here. Welcome LaShonda, Bird, Regina. Welcome, 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 welcome. Please make sure to thumbs up and subscribe and share.
Just give us a moment. We're waiting for Nap to come back. But this is a very important live today. This is for the LGBTQ community. And I wanted to talk about this situation because I do have an LGBTQ friend, a couple of them. And this is something that they deal with on a day-to-day basis. Can you hear me, baby?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, can you
Okay.
hear me?
As I
Yep, I can
stated
hear you.
before,
Okay.
we're doing a preventing suicide of the LGBTQ community. Now, if you live with a mental health condition and identifies as a lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer, and or questioning, it's important to prioritize your mental health. Not all members of the LGBTQ community will have the same experiences. However, discrimination, prejudice, denial of civil and human rights, harassment, and family rejection are still typically common for people with these identities. Now, that's what I want to talk about today. I'm talking about it. It needs to be talked about. And if you don't understand in the chat, please feel free to ask questions. Now, by me saying that, I'm going to throw this to you, Neptarian. Can you give me some information on how you feel as a young Black LGBTQ and the way you feel when you feel like sometimes you don't want to be here anymore?
I mean, okay, I'll take the floor on this one. It's almost a sense of self inadequacy. It's almost like no matter what you do, you're not good enough for people around you or yourself. You sit up there and you take everything people project onto you, you take stereotypes, and you said that you try not to be that stereotype. And you sit up there and you get tired. It's like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. And you also, you try to become something that you're not just to appease people, and all of that is like getting hit by a car repeatedly over and over and over again. And you'd be like, you know what? I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. And you just clunk out. You give up. You just want to lay down, and that's it.
Okay, Tata, do you have anything you want to put on this?
I'm just gonna piggyback off of that. I'm because I'm letting y'all know throughout this, I'm going to be reading off of 3 different sort of things I got here. I got notes. I got an article that I'll be pulling from, and I will also be pulling from the American Suicide Prevention website. So that's
Okay.
where.
Okay, well, I got some more information. So
Okay.
do you want to go ahead with some of what you have, or I'm gonna just go ahead and finish talking about the LGBT?
Go
and
ahead.
then just jump in, when you're ready.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Now,
okay, go ahead.
no, go ahead. What you was gonna say, babe?
Okay. Okay. And is the now this one is from it's a fact sheet about LBGTQ people and suicide. It said at the outset, it is critical to remember that the large majority of LBGT people, including youth who experience stressful external factors like discrimination, bullying, or family rejection, do not become suicidal. Now we want to put that out there at the onset. When media suggests suicide is a natural response to such factors, it can lead at-risk people to see their own experiences of discrimination, bullying, or rejection reflected in stories of those who have died, and they may be more likely to think of suicide as a solution to problems they are experiencing.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
Uh-huh.
the LGBTQ people with mental health conditions may also find themselves fighting a double stigma. Did you know that?
I can see that. I can see that. I can see that.
Okay, now that
Because
stigma includes. Okay, well, I'm gonna hurry jump in and I'm gonna let you finish. That stigma includes you being LGBTQ, and it also includes you having a mental disorder. So people are have this precognition
Well,
of you
Nip, let me
already.
step
Oh,
in right there. Let me step in and correct you right quick. It's not mental disorder. It's mental illness. This is an
what
illness.
illness?
Yes, it is that, and that's a big part of the stigma, more so than being of the LGBTQ community. Is if you have a mental illness for so many years, it had been described as
Unchecked.
a disorder. It is an illness, just like cancer, diabetes, heart attack, stroke. It is a mental, it is a mental illness and should be treated as such. Because, like, in my opinion, that's why a lot of people that have mental issues and mental illness don't come forward, because for so many years it's been called a mental disorder instead of what it is. It's a it's a
True,
disease. As you were.
true.
I
Now
yield back to you, sir.
people have this precognition already about you. Oh, you're part of the LGBTQ community, and like you said, people don't want to come out and say, "Oh, I have bipolar. Oh, I have schizophrenia. I have PTSD. I have intermittent explosive disorder," which is another term for explosive rage and so many other things. People don't want to be judged on top of already being judged for who they are. And like it's a doozy. You try and protect yourself at all costs. So many LGBTQ people try to protect themselves at all costs from being judged already. And it's like, okay, what can I say? What can I can't say? It's bad enough I got this going on in my life. I got this going on. It's like somebody taking an anvil, putting on your chest. You have no room to breathe or move.
Okay, so that's how you be feeling sometimes when these people on YouTube constantly harass and attack you. Is that how you feel, baby?
But it'd be worse than that. It'd be worse than that. Like I get angry. I get very, 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 very deep into this slump of depression. Sometimes I get very I have homicidal thoughts at times because like a lot of people with a mental illness, let me correct myself, with a mental illness, the first thoughts are homicidal tendencies, then suicidal, then ways where they can stay out of people's way. Then they try to conform to other people's standards to keep things off of them, and it usually ends up backfiring on them. So those are just my things. I don't know anybody else's, but those are just my things.
Okay. Well, in the LGBTQ community, people with mental health conditions may also find, also I already said that, I'm sorry, early intervention, comprehensive treatment, and family support are key to helping the LGBTQ people live well with their mental health, with the mental health condition. But many people in this community struggle in silence. So do you feel like you're struggling in silence?
I mean, I used to, I used to, but now I don't. I don't. It's many factors that took me away from feeling like I was struggling in silence. That man in there, my mother, my siblings, and a few other people. Plus, I needed an outlet, which is cooking, video games. So, like, if I can sit up here and help somebody with the things I'm saying, I want to encourage them to like talk to somebody. Don't feel like you have to suffer in silence. If you have to talk to like a friend or you have to go to a psychiatrist, just because you go to a psychiatrist does not mean you're weak. That means you're stronger than usual. I mean, hell, if you have to go up there and get on your knees in the corner and scream at the wall, you're doing something other than taking it out on yourself.
Well, that's a good thing. JLC, is there anything you want to add to what Nep had to say?
I'm looking over these statistics, and I guess I'll be the number girl on here today. All right.
Well, I got a couple.
I know, yeah. I'm just saying, most of my stuff it's gonna be running numbers. Okay, just running down the numbers. Okay, suicide is the 10th, like I said, leading cause of death in the U.S. As of in 19, oh Lord, in 2017. Forgive me, y'all. 47,173 adults. I'm sorry, Americans died by suicide. In that same year, there were an estimated 1.4 million suicide attempts.
And is that just regular suicide attempts, or is that suicide attempts with the LGBTQ community
These
as well?
numbers that I am reading is regular suicide attempts,
Okay.
and take into the fact that the percentage of Americans that identify as LGBTQIA, and you do of that number, it's right under 18. It goes within the 15 to 18% range. But was a surprising number, and this is within the LGBTQ community, about 29.67% of the suicide deaths in 2017 were white males.
Wow. Wow.
Right.
That's a lot.
Right. That shocked me because I was like, whoa. Because as we see,
I don't know what happened.
oh, okay. Because as we can see just by watching TV and in the media, that the white gay males or white gay people in general are more accepted than gay people of color or trans women of color. Because, one of the first shows that was centered in recent times that dealt with LGBTQ issues, it was back in 2000 on Showtime, Queer Folk. After
It's
that
true.
show took off, that's when you had the
Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark shows, because it was seen that, hey, we can basically make $1 because people are going to actually sit and watch these shows. And at the end of the day, let's just keep it 100. That's the only thing networks care about, is that bottom line. What's going to draw in the advertisers? What shows the advertisers going to be willing to spend money on. So yeah, that number right there with white males, that shocked that one shocked me. It really did. Because I didn't expect it to be that high, and for it to be the highest number to be white males. But that goes to show a strength that I guess with that's within us, like maybe embedded in our DNA. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. You to be a LGBTQ person of color in this country, that takes a lot of strength.
It's
It does, because you got two. You already come in with a strike against you just by being black, and then you add being a part of that spectrum, and for you to still be able to get up each day, live your life, and for a lot come to the conclusion, this is me, like it, love it, assuming, you know, it's a lot of stuff.
It is a lot of stuff,
It's a
and
it's a it's a lot of stuff to cover, and we probably won't be able to cover everything within this one live. So we're more than likely you will see us discuss this topic again.
okay. Well, I got some things I want to squeeze into this live,
Okay, go ahead.
and the LGBTQ adults more than the LGBTQ adults are more than twice as likely as heterosexual adults to experience a mental health condition. Now, a lot of LGBTQ that I have spoken with have stated that they have some type of mental health condition. Either it's bipolar or PTSD, or where they just hear voices,
schizophrenia.
and which is schizophrenia. And it's kind of sad, really. And they really don't have nobody that they can go to and talk to about this situation. Now, also, the LGBTQ people are at a higher risk than the general population for suicidal thoughts and suicide attempts. A lot of people didn't know that. And I was surprised that they think about harming themselves. But when I saw my friend get on this camera and attempt to harm himself, it made me feel some type of way. So that's what made me come up with this panel today so we can speak on it. So some of you know how to handle my delicate flower that I call my friend. Now,
It's many warning
also,
signs.
I want to say this just in case if some teenagers don't snuck up on here. High school students who identify as lesbian, gay, or bisexual are almost 5 times as likely to attempt suicide compared to their homosexual peers. Now, 48% of all transgender adults report that they have considered suicide in the past 12 months, compared to 4% of the overall US population. That's sad.
That's a very high number
If you
for a
look at
very
it.
for a broad
And
community.
guys, if you're out here and you have teenagers in your family that's lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer, or even questioning, um, instead of turning your backs on them, sit down and have a talk with them.
How about this one here?
Because
Instead of kicking them out your house, instead of kicking them out your house because you don't understand them or you agree with who they like or what they're questioning themselves to, like, why not sit them down and talk about it? Because, like, us as black people, we are quick to kick a child out the house, but go to church on Sunday and say, Lord, forgive me. But you can't forgive your child for who they love. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Black people are the biggest hypocrites. And I'm calling a spade here. You can sit up there and have a gay person do your hair. As soon as that gay person leave, you talk mad shit about them. You can have a gay male friend who dresses in drag, who dresses better than you. As soon as y'all get in an argument, the first thing you say is, "Oh, you want to be a woman," or you be like, "Oh, my sons can't be around you, or my daughters can't be around you." I've heard it all. Just sitting in the corner looking. You try being a gay man that walked around looking like this, and people be like, "Okay, I can't tell if you gay or not," until you tell them. They be like, "Wait, what? Wait, what?" And you watch the backlash. Like, you watch football, you play basketball, you do everything a normal guy would do, but then they shun you. Black people are hypocrites, the biggest
Oh yeah,
hypocrites that walk the face of the earth.
most definitely, most definitely. Because I want to piggyback off of what you said now, because you shun your child and throw your child in the street for being gay, and like I said, you'll go to church on that Sunday morning and sit up there and listen to the choir being directed by that gay choir director. Research a lot of the hymns and songs that y'all sing in church.
Gay people wrote them.
Okay,
Even I knew that.
right. And you can't judge a person by whether, especially a male, by whether or not he likes sports. Because I know some of the I know a couple of the straightest men, they can't stand it, because to them, they look at it as modern day slavery. A bunch of rich white men making money off the backs of black men.
A
So that's
black
why
man.
they don't mess with it.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
being gay, you can't automatically assume, oh, this person gay. They ain't in the sports. They don't watch no sports. They don't watch no sports. Hell, I get the look of amazement a lot of times being a female.
And you know about sports.
Thank you. And can hold my own in a conversation about sports. So I can only imagine if, let's say, you have a feminine gay male in a group of heterosexual men talking about sports, and they enter that conversation and know more than straight men do. You
They gonna
cannot
put.
you cannot base that off of gender or sexual preference about who like
Oh
what.
yes, you'll be surprised how ignorant some people are. You'd
No,
be
I won't.
surprised.
No, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. And I'm gonna tell you what.
but you'll be surprised how many of them football players on that team got boyfriends.
Michael
You'll be
Sam's one of the
surprised
first.
on that basketball team how many of them got boyfriends. So
Chris Bosh.
I don't understand. Like when it comes to the transgenders, how they keep hollering about, oh, they getting killed because they're not telling who they are. That's the first thing a transgender woman does is explain to a
Man,
man that she has the same thing that they have.
most of
And
these
nine
men
out
know
of
what they
10,
getting into.
sometimes you can tell a transgender woman from, well, you could tell that they look like a man. Some of
A
them
little, a little, a little strong.
real strong.
What only the ones
I didn't
that
want to say
choose
it
not
wrongly, but
to, have the surgeries or take the hormones,
them
because
men be attracted to them trans.
right.
That's why they be
Most
going after them.
most of these men know what they be getting into when they mess with these trans women. Like, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Didn't Young Buck just get caught with one? What's that man name? He a football player, basketball, no, a basketball player. He just got caught well a couple years ago, and now on YouTube somebody just outed him again. I mean,
Oh, you talking about Dwight
that's for
Howard?
some of the yeah, like some of
Not
the
the
hardest shit.
Superman.
Yeah, Dwight Howard. Oh yes.
And see, I'm another
Some of the
woman that likes sports too, JLC, and I can hold my own as well. But it's a shame before God that these people be doing this stuff and then trying to sweep it up under the rug. Now, they do have some support and resources that they can contact the LGBTQ community. And the first one is the American Psychological Association. Now, what that do is provide countless educational and support resources on a range of the LGBTQ topics. There's also the Association for Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, and it issues counseling, delivers educational and support resources for the LGBTQ individuals, as well as promoting conspe- complementary on the LGBTQ issues for counseling professionals. Also, they can go to the Association of Gay and Lesbian list, offer numerous resources for the LGBTQ individuals experiencing mental health conditions. Also, the National Center for Transgender Equity offers resources for the transgender individual, including information on the right to access health care.
Lady P, not to cut you off, but look at Shauna's question. Post it on the screen.
No, Shauna, that doesn't warrant for them to be killed because they just living their life to be who they are. And why are you going after them? That's the way I feel. Because they not going to just come up to you and throw themselves on you. You came to them. In order for you to get that far, to have to find that out. That's the way I see it, and that's the way how I feel. And no, no one should be justified for killing anyone.
Okay, I'm gonna step in with something. This is from the National Strategy for Suicide Prevention from the U.S. Surgeon General and the National Action Alliance for Suicide Prevention. Excuse me, y'all. It's guidelines for talking about suicide in safe and accurate ways. Okay, number one, do emphasize individual and collective responsibility for supporting the well-being of LGBTQ people. Do help people understand the relationship between mental health and suicide risk. Do encourage discussion about suicide prevention strategies like the one we're having here today. Do emphasize the vital importance of resilience.
Do we have any mods in here?
We got some stupidity going on.
No, no, no. I just wanted the mods to welcome the people in the chat that's coming in.
Okay.
And I thought LaShonda was a mod, but I only seen her once. She
Y'all
said she was coming over.
make
She
Shauna a mod. She good.
Yeah, for this Maud Shauna, because I think we had to do that. I had LaShonda do that the other night when we was on.
but she's my mod.
Mhm. We got five. Oh, wait a minute. There she go. There she is. There she go. Okay. Okay. That was the first four. Number five is do help people identify warning signs of suicide so they can support and provide help to those who might be at risk. Again, I'm reading the 12 from the guidelines for talking about suicide in a safe and accurate ways from the national strategy for suicide prevention that was done by the Surgeon General and the National Alliance for Suicide Prevention. Number six, do point people toward and provide information about resources that provide intervention, support for intervention and support for people who may be thinking about suicide. Seven,
So
don't
how would
attribute,
you know if somebody's thinking about suicide though?
it could be, go ahead, Neil.
Okay. From what I've learned, it first start off silentness. You get reclusive. You get quiet, then you get reclusive. You lose interest in everything. A lot of people can see something is wrong with you, and you're quick to say, I'm fine. Then you start giving away things you would never give away to
Y'all excuse
nobody.
me
Like,
for a moment.
okay, you
Mhm.
start giving away things. You clean up. Well, I'm a very clean person, but like, you clean up everything. Like, you organize your closet, you organize your
What
shoes,
closet
you
for?
organize everything in your house, and then you start giving stuff away. And once that person finally them pump themselves up, if you're not really paying attention or know the warning signs, it's too little too late.
Okay. Number seven, don't attribute a suicide death to a single factor such as bullying or discrimination, or say that
Lashonda, don't do that to Shauna Lynn. Don't do that to Shauna Lynn, baby.
a specific anti-LBGTQ law or policy will cause suicide. I'm finna elaborate, or I'm finna read what it said under this. Suicide deaths are almost always the result of multiple overlapping causes, including mental health issues that may not have been recognized or treated. Linking suicide directly to a external factor like bullying, discrimination, or LGBT laws can normalize suicide by suggesting that it's a natural reaction to such experiences or laws. It can also increase suicide risk by leading at-risk individuals with the experience of those who have died by suicide. That's off of number seven. Number eight, don't spreading false information by repeating unsubstantiated rumors or speculation about suicide deaths or why they occurred. Nine, don't talk about suicide epidemics, and this in quotes, or suicide rates for LGBT people. And that's probably on a side note, that's probably why I couldn't get exact numbers on this subject. The numbers always fell under the
The
heading
original
of suicide.
suicide.
Right. The numbers that I gave earlier, those was estimation. They weren't solid numbers. Number 10, don't use social media or e-blast to announce news of suicide deaths. Speculate about reasons for a suicide death. Focus on the personal details about a person who died or describe the means of death. because that might again sensationalize it and make the person that committed suicide a sort of a martyr to somebody that's already thinking it, and right be like, well, they do it, so that must be they did it, so that must be the right way to go. You have to. Everybody is have their own individual way of dealing with stuff. So you can't, like, let's say if I'm watching Nep and I'm of that community, and I'd be like, well, we're in the same community, so okay, that's how you're supposed to deal with stuff. Well, what your way of dealing with stuff, what probably won't help me deal with it. And where, you know, thank God you weren't successful in the last two times. Let's say the person that's watching you and thinking that they succeed
Right.
because
That's gonna depend on me.
right. Because I've heard that a lot of people that either attempted suicide, they just wanted the pain to stop. But what you got to what you fail to realize is
True.
if the pain don't stop, you just transferred to the ones you leave behind.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
why that's why a lot of people say that suicide is the most selfish act a person can do. Because you're
Um.
gone. You ain't got to deal with it no more. Your
Yep.
loved ones is left carrying the burden. And that's basically what the pain and the burden, trying to figure out what could we have done? Why didn't they come talk to us? So in a way, I kind of agree with that. Don't sensationalize it, because then, or even worse than that, you might have suicide pacts. And
I'm.
again, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Nip.
Woo, woo. What you just said was a mouthful. Not the suicide pact, but the sensationalizing of it. If y'all go back to season one of 13 Reasons Why, they sensationalized suicide. I learned this once I calmed down and I went back and rewatched it. And everything you said was like, why they didn't come talk to me, this, that, the other. Sometimes when you try to talk about it, people, how could I put this without sounding fucked up?
Sound fucked up.
Yeah, people, they actually make you want to do it even more. They down talk you, they badger you, they tell you stupid for even thinking about this, that, and the other. And you be like, no, just talk me out of it. Like, give me some type of comfort, give me some type of solace, make me feel whole, human again. But you can't talk to everybody about your feelings. So when I watched it, all the lines that girl gave on that show, I give off, but in a different way. So which is why when I had my episode and I went to my doctor's appointment, I talked to my doctor, I was like, okay, so this is my support system. Anytime I feel like this here, run to one of them instead of staying to myself. Because the longer you stay by yourself, how my doctor said that, an idle mind is the devil's playground.
Right.
And true tea, when you have a mental illness and you by yourself and you feel like the world is crumbling around you, the devil is playing in your head, man. He playing in your head and like it is some shit. Like for instance, bipolar. Anybody with bipolar, you're one way or the other. You have no happy medium. I had to get explained that. Either I'm real euphoric or I'm real down in the slumps or angry. That's my bottle. Euphoric. That's right now. I'm in a good headspace. I can talk this, that, and the other. I talked to Bay this morning. I called my mama. My little brother called me. So I'm using my support system. Hey, how you doing? I just wanted to see how you was doing. Call me, let you know how my day going, how I'm feeling. So like the sensationalizing of suicide, TV shows should stop showing it. TV shows should stop showing it all together. Because, like you said, it makes people smarter. And if y'all did the research on the show 13 Reasons Why, I want to say 30 little girls killed themselves off of that one scene when that girl killed herself in the bathtub.
That's why parents shouldn't let their children watch certain things. And I'm glad you mentioned that. There's a lot of things out here that us as parents shouldn't let our children do. Now, also for the LGBTQ, or I guess this would work for, people that just wants information. As I stated to you, they have the Trevor Project, and it is a support network for the LGBTQ youth, providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention, including a 24-hour text line. Now they can text the word SMART to 678 to get some help from the Trevor Project. Now there's also the LGBTQ National Help Center, where it offers confidential peer support, connections for the LGBT youth and adults and seniors, including phone, text, and online chats. The Gay and the Lesbian Medical Association Provider Directory is a search tool that can locate a LGBTQ inclusive healthcare provider. So that's for those LGBTQ people that may not have the insurance they need, may not be able to get the medication that they need. So there are places out here that you can reach out to. And I also have the LGBTQ suicidal hotline. I put it in the chat, but I'm going to also recite it so you can hear it. It's 1-866, and I think I typed 1-800. I'm sorry. 1-866 488 7386. I'll type it in the chat again. It's one
What it
eight
is?
six six 488 7386. And that's the suicidal hotline.
Okay, let me run over these. Let me run these last two do's and don'ts. Okay, number 11 says, and I guess we talked on this one without even knowing it was on the list. Don't idolize those who have died by suicide or create an aura of celebrity around them. Idolizing people who have died by suicide may encourage others to identify with or seek to emulate them. Case in point, the biggest one that I seen and why I loved I loved him as an actor and a comedian, Robin Williams. But with Robin Williams, nobody in a million could tell me that they thought in a million years that he would commit suicide. Now I know he's not a part of the community, but I think that's what pushed mental health and mental illness and suicide to the forefront. Because if anybody had ever seen Robin Williams, he was always
He
up,
was too happy.
making other people laugh, and nobody never thought, including myself, what after the lights go down, after the camera shut off, when it's just you. You know,
This goes ba- this
what
goes
do you
this goes
think?
back to what I was saying about this goes back to what I was saying about either you're for it or you're down low. But Robin thing was, what's the term? He was everybody rock. That's why a lot of people said check on your strong friends.
Right.
Answer your phone every once in a while when you see them call. Like, hey man, like what's up? Just talk to them. That was, I would say, was his fault, but it was everybody around him fault. Cause like, and another one, Chris Farley, he was the same way. Even though he died
But
of a
then look
drug
up
overdose.
Chris Farley. Now here's one of suicide. That one is suicide. That was that
But that
accident
was,
drug overdose. He did the same thing because he idolized John Belushi. Those that
yep.
know of Chris Farley, John Belushi was his idol. He idolized this man. So hell, John Belushi.
Um,
Welcome,
check about
QI.
this.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome, QI. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You look so different. How are you?
All right, how about everybody else? Lady P, JLC 87 Productions, NEP, how's everybody doing?
We're
We're
great.
good.
How are you,
We're good.
babe?
Great.
Okay, and I'm loving the topic because mental illness is a epidemic amongst black so-called African American people. And I'm listening to the conversation, but I'm drop in a few facts along the way. But I just want to get up to speed, and I apologize for the tardiness.
Mhm.
You great. You
It's
good.
all right.
You good. You good. Well, I was just going over the 12 do's and don'ts when it comes to suicide. And basically, I'm just going to run through them again for you.
Okay.
At number, because y'all have to forgive me because I've been running around and trying to get everything. But okay, number one is emphasize individual and collective responsibility for support.
Mm-hmm.
Offer support.
Mm-hmm.
Help people understand the relationship between mental health and suicide risk.
Mm-hmm.
Encourage discussions about suicide and suicide prevention. Emphasize the vital importance of resilience.
Okay. Now I want to say this, up front. I'm glad that we're tying in mental health along with suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let me speak first on depression so I can set the narrative or tell the story along the way.
Okay.
All right, now depression is a mental health diagnosis, and depression can happen two ways: through your environmental stressors, or it can be hereditary. Now, hereditary meaning that, like, if your mother or your father, were under depression during your conception, then there's a strong chance that you might get that trait. Okay. Now with depression, everybody gets depression, and so depression is common. But the difference between severe depression is that there's a cloud. It generally lasts for like about 3 months, and there's a heavy cloud upon a person in which a lot of people like to say get over it. Nope, it's not a such thing when it comes to people who are severely depressed, and a lot of times it creates or it is caused by a chemical imbalance, which means that there has to be other things that come into play to help lift that depression. And so you just can't get over it. But it can be due to environmental or hereditary. Okay, now environmental, we're talking about just like the people in Katrina, that are people of 911. Those kind of things created, depression amongst people. And sometimes, like some of those people were able to get over it. Some of those people were triggered into especially if that trait or if that trait was already inherent. Some of those people were triggered for a lifelong or a long battle with depression or some other form of mental illness. So depression is never to be taken lightly. And although it may be easy for some to get over, it's not easy for everybody to get over. And traumatic experiences a lot of times cause a lot of depression, just like postpartum syndrome, which comes after pregnancy. a lot of different there are a lot of different things that cause depression. So it should never be taken lightly.
Right, right. Because
Thank
I
you for
can
coming over here and dropping that knowledge, QI.
right. Because as somebody, and I think I've spoke on this before, somebody that's living with and dealing with depression from the sudden death of my son. There's a song, there's a gospel song that starts out, I've had my good days, I've had my bad days.
And I shall not complain.
There you go. So you know what I'm talking about. I will not it I what I've the way I've experienced it, because I was brought up, we as black people, what the first thing your mama, grandmama, and them, your family member tell you if you come talking about depression, talking about seeing a therapist, well, you better go in there, get on your knees, talk to the Lord about it.
Pray about it.
Yep.
Go to
Pray
church.
about it.
Ask
Well,
somebody.
and while all that is good, I need to hear, you know, some feedback. If I'm telling you I'm feeling this way now, I have experienced, not knocking religion, because I have experienced times where I'm feeling some type of way, and I'm like, God, Lord, the calling on the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, and once I get through, a Bible verse will pop in my mind, in my head, or a song that I've heard, and I take that as an answer. But I'm not ashamed to say that yes, I do go talk to a therapist twice a month. Yes, I am on antidepressant medicine because I had been at the lowest of low with this, which means I hated myself. I hated everybody. I did not. I hadn't told nobody this, but for like 3 months after, I didn't talk. I didn't talk to God for like almost 3 months after my son died, because my thing is this: you want to talk about an innocent soul that never done nothing to nobody. Anybody that ever met him or laid eyes on it. And I'm not trying to make this a memorial to him. I'm just trying to, you know,
You can make it a
Go ahead,
memorial.
baby.
You know how
you
we
know,
Go ahead,
feel
baby. Get it
about
off your chest.
Speak their truth.
you know, you can, you cut his life short at 29, and he never did nothing to nobody but brought them joy and pleasure and made them laugh. But we got Mango Unchained.
I love that you say
I
that.
knew you was gonna laugh when I said that around here. And I'm like, and I was at work one day and I made the comment. I was like, y'all remember when they used to assassinate presidents? But that's another. That's another.
you
I
gotta
mean,
stop it for you had a CIA on us.
no, look at it. They assassinated Kennedy. They assassinated King, Martin, Mega. Oh, I could go on. But getting back on topic, I digressed a little bit, y'all. Had it not been for me going seeking that therapy or being on that medication, I might not be sitting here today because I ain't give a damn about nothing or nobody, including myself.
I know that
Yeah.
feeling.
And it will take you there.
See, a lot of people think that post-traumatic stress disorder only comes from people who are in the military, but post-traumatic stress disorder can come from any traumatic experience. Okay, and the components or the symptoms that are also a part of mental health diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder is anxiety. Some people can have delusions. Some people can depression. Post-traumatic stress disorder is a component of a lot of different mental health diagnoses. And we seem to think that it only comes from military, but it doesn't. It's any traumatic experience. And traumatic experiences depend on the person. Just like some people took Katrina some people, took Katrina lightly, whereas it tore some people up, with Katrina. And I'm using that for an example because Louisiana has the highest rate of mental illness, And the biggest component of that is due to, Katrina, a natural disaster. Okay, just like
Thank you.
911. A lot of people who didn't have families, or who don't even, like, know anyone that was involved in 911, just by looking at that experience, develop post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay. And so even therapists see therapists, even psychiatrists see therapists. There's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist, especially in this day and time, because of the simple fact that, okay, back during the day, they used to say that suicide wasn't a thing for, black or so-called African Americans. Okay, but the reason being is because black back during the day, we had stronger family structures. Everybody knew they first, second, third, fourth, fifth cousin. We went to family reunions every summer. We had soul food Sundays every
You
Sunday.
gotta speak, QI. You gotta speak.
And then in church,
Preach it.
the church system was better about fighting about injustices, and we had sisterhoods. We had real brotherhoods that weren't sellouts. Okay, nowadays they comprised of a lot of sellouts. Okay, and they don't care. They're about their 501c money. Okay, now, and then, but the thing about back in the day too that was negative is the fact that most black people consider mental health or seeking mental health treatment to be taboo. Like you were saying earlier, JLC, the go-to was get on your knees or pray, or go to the pastor and let them cast the demons out of them. Now, me working within the mental health system, I'm a part of a program. It's BB Campbell Moore created it. We go around to black churches, because now even a lot of the black churches and black ministers realize that, they can't help some people for their problems. And so we go around and we educate them about resources and places to send people. Because one of the number one things with us as black people or African Americans, so-called African Americans, is because we don't know where to go.
That's blocking QI. I think.
There's a lot of people out here that don't know where to go when they do want to get help or when they need help. So it's very important that, people have those resources to know where to go and how to get started with getting help. They have public behavioral health places in every city. It's required. And that's another reason why we need to look at politics, because mental health, like we go to the doctor every year, and get a checkup at least for our physical health. And your mind regulates your body. So it's real backwards to go to the doctor every year for a checkup for your physical health, for your body, and not go and do at least a checkup for your mental health, your mind, your emotional, your mental. So, we need to advocate more fundings and make it more available, because a lot of the things that we see, including the racism and different things, are all components of mental health. Their mental health is an epidemic, and people, not even a lot of the professionals, even understand it to the full capacity, because it involves the brain. And the brain, like it would take somebody who came, it would take God to be able to really just give us a thorough, perfect understanding of the brain. So not even a lot of them fully understand the brain and how it works, emotions and all of these things, but we're working on it. But one of the things we have to do is encourage people to get help, and then get a second, third, and a fourth opinion. If you go to a doctor or a therapist and they don't seem right for you, or they trying to put you on some medicine don't work for you, when it don't work for you, if it have you acting funny, then go to the next person. You have a right to tell your doctor that this is making me do XYZ and it's not right. It may be too strong, it may not be effective, you might be allergic. There's a lot of things. So, you have a right.
JLC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, QI. Finish, baby. Finish. I'm sorry.
You have a right to consult, because a doctor can't, a doctor, especially when it comes down to the brain and what you're going through, a doctor can't diagnose you just looking at you. you have to communicate with that doctor. And if you don't communicate with that doctor, and that's including any childhood experiences, because a lot of our mental health is also stemmed from our childhood, because blacks or so-called African Americans have the highest rate of domestic violence and abuse, which causes mental health issues. We have the highest rate of child sexual abuse, which causes a lifetime of post-traumatic stress and mental health conditions. You know, divorce, grief, like you were saying, there are numerous of different things that cause, you know, mental health or emotional issues. Mental health is comprised of both emotional as well. So, you know, like we got to stop being afraid and ashamed, and we got to advocate to our people and our family members, because a lot of times within our families we like to turn the blind eye to people we know that need help. That uncle who molested somebody got a problem, he need to go get some help. Okay, if you got somebody out here and you know they violent within your family, they need to go get some help. Stop being ashamed and go get them people some help, because that's only gonna spread, and we're gonna keep having generations of dysfunction and mental health, you know, passing on throughout our community. So
You
we got
right, you right.
Generational curse.
But Betty White had a question, and I want to get this question in. She said, "What does the panel think about victim mentality and no personal accountability? What y'all think about that?"
I mean, people who sit up there and constantly go, "Oh, woe is me," this, that, and the other. Like, if it happened, it happened. You know, like, let it go. Like, it could have been 10 years down the line. Stop playing the victim and let it go. It's not good for your psyche at all. And if you can't hold yourself accountable for what you did, you're not even an adult. You're a child. Like, out here, you gotta take accountability for everything you do. I mean, if you murder somebody, you gotta come to terms that you murdered somebody. If you killed the dog, you gotta come to account that you killed the dog. You have to own up what the hell you did. Stop sitting there like, okay, but it wasn't my fault. They ran in front of my car. Oh, they ran in front of my gun. Oh, they ran into my fist. Or they provoked me to do it. No, take account of what you did. You have the option to walk away, slow down, or do something else.
exactly.
Exactly. Now, because in addressing that question, I agree with what Nep just said, because it's like this. Like I stated, I'm a person that's dealing and being treated for depression. I could easily go out here, take my weapon, go out here and shoot up a place and get away with it, because it is documentation that, oh, she's being treated, she's on this medication. But I make the choice not to do that, because why? What I want to do to somebody else, to another mother, why would I want another mother to go through what I went through? Why would I want them to lose their child
Right.
because I'm having a bad day?
But like, okay, and I'm glad you stated that, because you know, like you came out on the upper end, but on the lower end, when people go through those kinds of things, that's because they lack. See, you had some emotional balance and some emotional maturity, but there are a lot of people who lack emotional balance and emotional maturity. Therefore, you know, they give in to, you know, like they give in to that, they give in to that, those negative thoughts that, you know, that come through your mind during depression and anxiety and different things. But luckily you had, you know, a component of emotional stability there that helped save you. But a lot, you know, we can't say, and just like they were saying, victim mentality, there are some diagnoses like personality disorders, which includes narcissism, histrionic disorder, split personalities, and all of that. And they generally have, like, they might cry suicide 100 million times. But here's the thing, and that's a part of their diagnosis. Here's the thing. Still, we should never ignore it, because it's that one
Exactly.
time that you ignore it that they're serious about it.
Okay, now
Mhm.
I want to say this. I would like to start something on here. It would be a group that we can do on StreamYard behind the scenes. It doesn't have to be aired. It can be a group to help people that need somebody to talk to. I am willing to do that. I would love to do it behind the scenes. And if y'all are interested, you all have my email addresses now. Please feel free to contact me and we can talk about what we want to do and how we want to do it before we actually jump and do it. Now, QI, I really appreciate you coming over here today to share your knowledge with us. But I'm going to have to end this live because I got another live to be on.
I know.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me write. Allegedly, because I haven't heard anything back since I shared that first email with y'all. So I
But
don't know.
allegedly, he spoke about it tonight. I mean, today.
Oh, he did?
His video, yes, he did.
Okay, good.
And he was supposed to be getting in contact, but I haven't checked my email. So
Okay.
I most definitely need to do that, but I need to prepare. And I'm glad Nep, that you were here to give your expertise on this. Thank you so much, QI, for coming over here and adding more. I was excited when JLC said you wanted to come on.
It's my because y'all are my family and my people at the end of the day. And in this so-called Section 8 sector, we have the high, in my opinion, based on, looking throughout the YouTube streets, we have a high level of mental, illness within this sector.
It runs rapid over here.
So
yes, it does.
anytime that somebody is doing something, anything positive to educate our people on anything that will help us, it's my pleasure, my honor. So it's been a pleasure and an honor, and I appreciate being invited. And I thank y'all, and I'd like to say anytime.
Okay, I got your email. I got your email address now. I most definitely will be inviting you to more. We just trying to change this sector, basically. We want to bring some
Pretty much.
positivity to it. And if this is how we need to do it, this is what we're going to do every week.
Mm-hmm.
So we most definitely will be staying here and doing what we need to do to make this sector positive. Because I don't see this sector as the Section 8 sector.
Me either. That's nothing
These
to brag
people in
about.
this sector got that money.
And
now, I don't know what Wiley got that Section 8 shit from, but he need to keep that over there at the Wiley show.
Wiley has issues. Wiley has issues, and he uses mental health. Like they were saying, victim. Okay, there's a person that uses the mental health, mental health issues to get out of his behavior. Okay, and just like right now they talking about Miss Gina, but to me, in my opinion, Wiley is way worse than Miss Gina.
I know I didn't see that, so I'm not gonna speak on it. I don't know what's going on. I'm still kind of confused.
My fault.
Let me step in, and then y'all, I'm gonna have to leave out. I just want to thank everybody for coming over. But when it comes to that Miss Gina thing, this is how I feel about it. Like it, love it, or sue. She did not put a knife or a gun in anybody's head and force them to give her anything. She came on, she asked, and that was it.
Okay, baby.
I'm not saying whether she's guilty. Let me make sure I clarify myself. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that.
That's all they talking about right now.
Yeah, right. But I'm like, because folks, even because I would, hear folks, she over there begging, she over there begging. For one, if you don't fool with her, how you know what she over here doing?
Bingo.
And like
they always in the bushes.
How Jesse told folks back on the day of W's inauguration. stay out the bushes. If you don't like sun, stay out the bushes. But so I hadn't really had a chance to follow it because y'all, yeah, my fellow misfits know that I'm usually at work, so I'm peeking in, because even with this, Lady P, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be a part of this and to do research on this. I wish my research would have been
You
more.
know you the mother of this ship, girl.
I I wish my research would have been more fluid, but
It
between
was good
work,
enough. We got what we needed to get across. People got it. They understood it. If they didn't, they can go watch the replay.
And then there could always be a part 1, part 2, part 3.
right?
You know,
Yeah, we can think. I'm gonna think about that, QI, and
I'm
maybe we can do it for the youth the next time. Do it,
Yep.
break it on
breaking
down
down by
because
group.
it is serious.
or something may come up in the news and it's revolved around mental health, and you could use that, to bring in, different components as
We can
well.
talk about the mental health news reporter that we got right now that can't tell the
See,
news story
see,
for
see,
their life. Okay,
see, see.
Let me get off of here because
Yeah, because Lady P, Lady P, what did I tell y'all that night? I
I ain't called no names now.
I refuse to step down off my chariot and throw tomatoes with that. I won't do it.
I don't,
Oh, Lord, no, you didn't.
I don't want.
I guess wait a minute. I guess this little thing, this little comedic episode was needed, not to make light of the situation that we're talking about, but it did get kind of heavy, especially because it brought back some thoughts that I had in the past, but like I
And if
said,
anybody on here that's not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you go over there and hug Nepturian's page, QI page, and my page as well. We will appreciate it. And we would like to thank you guys for coming over and watching us. Thank you for coming to the Royalty Squad. That's the name of my people, the Royalty Squad. So we'll holler at you later. Thank you.
And call those hotline numbers if in crisis. By all means, it's kind
Yes.
yes,
of want to put that out there as well. There
Make
are
sure you
a lot
call
of
Talk
the
to
hotline
somebody
number
that you
if
think you
you
can
are in
trust.
a crisis. Thank you.
I will. All right, y'all.
all right,
Bye, y'all. Peace. Thank you.
thank
You
you.
got